Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicholas, and I'm actually very weirded out that this is going to be my first video, but I digress. I just want to make this video because I seen a trend. If you go through the YouTube algorithm, you'll see you'll watch one video and then you watch another video, and next thing you know, you're like in the YouTube spiral. And somehow, some way, I got into people mentioning that they quit their call center job. And I recently just quit my call center job. In fact, yesterday was my last day. And I really kind of just wanted to give my experiences with the call center job because it sucked. So here we go. For legal sake purposes, or for legal purposes, I'm not going to mention the company name because unfortunately I did have to sign an NDA. Other than that, trust and believe, I'm very transparent, I'm very truthful, so I would be naming the company left and right, but I'm not trying to get sued because I don't have any money. So anyway, moving on. So I'll let you know what the experiences was, just getting into the company, and then kind of like my personal issues with the company. And boy, there's a lot. Well, not really a lot, but it's just the content of what happened. So getting into the company was very easy. Very easy. It was actually like painless to get into this company. I was offered the job on my first interview. They said, "Hey, we want you to join our team." Okay, perfect, cool, great. Mind you, I was coming from a grocery store. I was coming from a grocery store, job. So I was in customer service on the retail side. So I was just like, okay, great, I'm doing something different. The company does specialize in insurance, and I'm not going to mention much. Again, just trying to ride the line of what can I say without getting sued. So just know that this company does specialize in insurance. What kind of insurance, I will not say, but it specializes in insurance. So it was something completely different. Didn't know too much about insurance. I just know, if you have insurance, you're covered. So get into the company. I go through what is called introduction for the first 2 days. They'll let you know how the company is, who owns the company, and what the company stands for, and all their core values, all of the good stuff. Then you go through licensing, because in order to work for this company, you need to have an insurance license. So the good thing is that they do pay for it. So you do have 2 tries. If you fail the first time, then you have to go back in 2 weeks to retake the exam. If you fail the exam the second time, then if you want to get your license, it's something you have to pay out of pocket. So that went smoothly. All of everybody in my class passed. Then you go through what is called orientation, or no, excuse me. You go through training, and training is where they tell you what the job is about, and how do you do your job, and what is expected, what is not expected. But I will say that what you learn in training, about 70% of that is going to be moving forward here. And then you go through training, then you go through what is called orientation. And orientation is pretty much you're doing the job, you're doing the actual job, but you're getting coached. So you have your supervisor listening to your calls, and they'll tell you oh, you did this wrong, you did this right, you did this wrong, this needs to be worked on, and yada yada yada. And it was cool to begin with, but you don't realize how tedious it does get the more and more you stay with this company. So then after orientation, you get put onto the actual floor. Now, the actual floor is meaning that you have went through the introductory of the job, and now you're on the job, you're doing the job, and because the way it is set up, the job, you should know what you're doing. Now, this is where the gripe comes in, because it is pretty much cold turkey going from orientation to actual floor. Orientation, you have a lot of support. You're in a chat group with everyone that's in orientation, all the supervisors, all the trainers, where if something happens, you ask a question and then boom, someone will help you. That's not the case on the floor. The floor, you're pretty much confined to your team and your supervisor. Heaven forbid your supervisor is not available, is not in office, or is on vacation, because that happened to me 3 times. Then you need to reach out to another supervisor, and heaven forbid that supervisor's not available, you have to reach out to somebody else. So you're pretty much playing hot potato. So there was an instance where my supervisor was on vacation. He was on vacation for 2 weeks. And my supervisor, I will give my supervisor one thing. He's really good, and I like my supervisor. But other supervisors are not him. And another thing is not all supervisors are on the same page. What my supervisor would do, others will not. And that was such a friction point. So after that, another thing is this is where the micromanaging comes in. They will listen into your calls. They will nitpick every little thing. I can have a 5-minute call where the person wants to, discuss their policy. Perfect. But they will expect you to get it done in 3 minutes. Now, mind you, if you get it done in 3 minutes, they want you to get it done in 1.5 minutes. So it was very frustrating. Another thing is during service, which they don't really necessarily tell you in training. I hope it changed, but they didn't tell you in training where you have to upsell. I'm not going to mention what the upselling is or how to name it, because it's called something. But because this company, I believe, is the only one that calls it this way, I don't want to mention it. But you have to upsell. And what upselling is if there is a pop-up that needs you to upsell a product, you have to offer it. And at first, when I first started there, there's 3 things you have to do. You always have to offer, you have to be assumptive, and you have to objection handle. So in this case here, I would say, Miss Smith, I see that you have a product that you qualify for. I want to make sure that you take full advantage of this product. And this is not the word track that I got. Again, I'm just trying to blur it to make sure that I'm not being sued here. But, if you take advantage of this product, then these are the benefits. So let me get you a person to give you more information. And again, this is not the word track. It's not the word track, which that's another thing. I couldn't stand the word tracks because the word tracks makes you sound robotic. So that was required. And again, they did not tell anyone that is a requirement. They'll mention it, but they won't say it's a requirement. Oh, it's something you need to do. Oh, if you don't do it, you have the chance of being fired. So I did not agree with it. And that's probably the difficultness of me is I didn't agree with it. Cause I'm just I agreed with it. I had no problem offering it, but it's just the objection handle. Cause once someone tells me no, it's no. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh wait, please. No. If someone says, no, I'm okay. Okay, cool. No problem. You have it just in case. But what they want you to do is they want you to objection handle. So they'll say, so it will be something along the lines of, oh, I see you have this product. If you have this product, you will benefit here. Let me go ahead and get an agent. Oh no, I don't want to go through it. Oh, well, I completely understand. Well, if you do get this product, this is another benefit. So let me still get that agent for you. See how intrusive that is to me? That sounds very intrusive. If they told you no, they told you no for a reason. And mind you, with this product, you have to pay for it. So again, that was my big gripe. And that is my biggest gripe with this company, because you're in service. They tell you, oh, hey, by the way, you're here to help the policyholder. You're here to assist them with whatever needs that they need. I'm not in sales. And they want you to sell something. And then the way they piggyback off of it, they'll piggyback off of it saying, oh, no, this is for educational purpose. If they don't buy it, that's okay. No, because if they don't buy it, that goes onto your record or your merits. And at the time when I first started, the merits were ridiculous. Like, you had to make a certain call per day. You had to make sure all your calls are A quality, meaning that great call, you gave them all the information, it was the correct information. The other merit was your surveys, where it's with their surveys, you have to get excellent. It can't be very good, it can't be great, it can't be anything else. It has to be excellent. And then also the upselling. Now, each of those, so there was 4 of them. There were like I said, the call quality, calls per day, the upselling, and the surveys. Each of them had to be each of them was 25% of your whole point system or goals or whatever. And those are the merits that they require for you to promote. So I'm gonna start with the call quality, because again, call qualities are kind of how can I say this? They're kind of opinion based, because what one supervisor would tell the other person, another supervisor will word it differently. And with the call qualities, they were getting so muddled, because I will give the policyholder exactly what my supervisor says, which is the correct information, but it was worded wrong. And with that being said, it was considered a call fail. And I've had my fair share. So they turned that into pretty much, you handle the call, they called in, you handle the call, and they don't call back. Done. You're good. And everyone was flourishing in that, because that was more reasonable. Now with the upselling, which is probably going to be sounding a little ranty, but I don't care. With the upselling, they changed that merit so many times because it was unreachable. Because at this time, again, you're upselling something that a customer might not need. And, again, not saying that they don't need it, but your approach with it is bad. They might need it, but they can't afford it. And they'll tell you in a few words or less saying, oh, yeah, with this, we're not asking you to sell it. We're just giving you, we're just educating the policyholder in case they need it. I said, no, because if we don't get the sale, we can't promote. And then they're like, oh, no, well, it's not if they get the sale, it's if you get quoted. And I said, yeah, but they get quoted and they don't get the sale, then it hits our numbers. And trust me, that has been the biggest complaint with that portion. You're trying to sell something and you're giving us this bullcrap excuse of, and no matter how you word it, you're selling it. We're not in sales. And it's funny because only 2 departments do this, which is service and I believe reissue. They don't do it in sales. And they can say whatever they want. I've talked to a sales agent before. They don't do it in sales. Hey guys, Nick here. Just letting you know that if you see a huge major cut, it was my roommate accidentally walking in through the front door, which is there. Again, I wasn't expecting him to come home so late, but hey, what can you do? But yeah, if you see a big major cut, that's the reason why. So, what they want is, again, they want to sell something. And again, there's only two departments that offer it, which is reissue and service. Not even a sales agent sells it. So it's crazy. But yeah, other than that, like, I would say like the environment is not very good. Like, your mental health will really, really just take a hit. It will take a hit. And I will admit that with this company, it does pay well. It pays very well. Like, I cannot fault them for that. They pay very, very well. But it was to the point where you have to make a decision where it's either the money or your mental health. And if you don't have mental health, if your mental health is not in it, then the money's not going to be worth it. There are times where I've taken off early just because I didn't want to handle the day. There are times where I would not want to get out of bed and go to work because I would just say it's going to be some bullshit. And that's plain and simple. So, I would say if you have worked at a call center, tell me your experiences. See if there's anything different. Because again, going into the YouTube spiral, I'm seeing a trend. And I will honestly say I will never, ever work at a call center ever again. But that is my experiences. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And tell me your experiences in the comments.